Hi, I'm Chris Montoya. I sell houses, and this is Kyle Horn. His group sells enrichment of our community. Hi, Kyle. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you, Chris?
I am awesome. It's not awkward because actually we hang out a lot together. So Kyle runs a rec district, and he's going to tell you a little bit about what's going on with our new archery station.
Yeah, absolutely. So we just did some improvements, and we're almost done. We got a few more things to go still, but thanks to a grant from Colorado Parks and Wildlife, from a grant from Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, Rec District funds, support from GE Johnson and two of their partners, HCBA Engineering and Cooley & Sons Excavating. Plus we had support from the Royal Gorge Bridge and Park. They provided us with some old planks that they use across the bridge. Interroll has helped out with this. You know, so many different businesses have stepped up and made this a reality, and we can't thank them enough, because when we look around this archery range, we've kind of had a nice archery range, but now we made it great. We've got a lean-to. We're getting ready to add another 40-yard target. We're adding about another 60-yard target back behind me. We've got more bales, so we have more targets coming in very soon. Those should be in a couple of weeks, and then we're going to be replacing some of the old ones and cycling those out. So at the end of the day, this is going to be somewhere around a $25,000 improvement project that of your tax dollars, $4,000.
That's pretty amazing.
So through grants, in-kind donations, everything else, it's just been wonderful to get this thing rolling.
Very cool. So do you mind if I ask you a question about what's going on with youth sports right now? Let's say soccer, for example.
Okay, so with youth sports, we're trying to figure out what we can do safely, and then also knowing that the first priority in our thought process was we have to get kids back to school first. And so what we did was we kind of pulled back a little, and we said, you know what, we're not even going to open up registration until August 31st. That gives schools 2 weeks to get their adjustment in. The kids get their adjustment, and we'll also know if there are any spikes in the numbers or anything else.
Things that could throw off those.
Absolutely. Then we'll have a 2-week window of registration open. Again, that's another 2-week window where we can take registrations, but also see if anything is developing or changing. It gives us a few days then to set up teams. We'll start practices and then get games. But we're going smaller sided for both soccer and football. We're going smaller sided because the rules are no more than 25 people per field, but that includes subs. So if we're doing that, that meant that we can't go 11v11 because normally there's about 15, 16 players on a team. That puts you over the 25-person limit. So what we did was we pulled back and said, can we go 7-on-7 in soccer? And in football, can we just switch everything to flag and go 8v8? And that's what we did. So
it's a good idea. You know, the thing I kind of like about this, and this is kind of just my idea or thought process, is you know, a little bit bigger field, your kid's going to get a little bit more time on the field, he's going to get a little bit more space, and we'll probably have a few more teams. We'll open this up a little bit more. I really like it. I like the idea.
And there's going to be more touches on the ball. In football, in 8v8, everybody is eligible in flag football. So you can have a center eligible pass. So every kid is going to get an opportunity. And for us, when we really looked at it, what can we do to safely run the programs? How do we get the emphasis on education first? Then move into the extracurricular activities, such as the programs with the Recreation District. And we feel we've done that safely. We have lowered the price of a few programs. We're still going to do the 3v3 for the 5 and 6-year-olds in soccer. Flag football, football will be flag across the board, and we're not going to do a knee kickers program because the 3 and 4-year-olds going to be very tough to social distance, even more so there than it would be on the 3v3 of the 7-on-7. So we're not doing a knee kickers this year, but it was what can we offer to still give kids the experience, and this is what we came up with, because it's not about what are we taking away, it's no, what can we actually do that meets the current guidelines, thinks about safety, and gives kids the experience of playing sports. And that's what we did. And I have to congratulate our programs department. They really came up with a lot. In the front office, you have Tawny, Cody, Michelle, and Jamie, who have worked very hard to make sure that program offerings can happen. And because of their hard work and dedication, we're going to be able to do it.
Okay, so now I get to ask you one question, then you got a question for me at the very end.
Okay.
But what's the one thing people don't really know is going on with the rec district that you guys are doing to promote something great in our community?
You know,
Do you have a project like that you're like,
we're getting ready to start up the playground project up at Rouse Park.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, when you factor in-kind work and what the actual equipment cost, it's about a $240,000 project. That impact is not going to be felt on the taxpayers because over $150,000 of that is coming through a Great Outdoors Colorado grant. And then you throw in the in-kind work, some other donations from other entities, Bank of the San Juans, Wholesome, Newmont Mine, City of Cañon City, Cañon City Schools, Fremont County, they all pitched in. It was truly a community effort to get a new playground at Rouse because we were told this playground has outlived its life. It's no longer a rebate situation. They no longer support it, so there are no longer parts available for that playground. And we were told by the manufacturer, you have to rip it out or you have to replace it, and they gave us a timeline in which to do it. It's still safe right now, but we were able to get a grant and we're getting it replaced. And we had 6 different companies bid on it, and we selected Church Recreation with the best proposal. And we believe it's going to be a significant upgrade at Rouse Park that families will enjoy. We're adding a little bit more shade over there. There's going to be some benches added. And then, of course, a great play structure with a lot of climbing elements. A lot of stuff that involves American Ninja Warrior kind of stuff.
Very cool. I like the direction it's headed. So just so you guys know, my man Cal Horn at the Rec District, not spending your tax dollars. He's saving you guys money.
We are spending some, just nowhere near as much it would have been if we didn't have to.
For sure.
So go ahead.
So this is the last part. You get to ask me one question.
Oh, wow.
And don't ask me which one my favorite rec sport is because we already know the answer.
No, we already know that's wrestling. So we don't have to go there. So you've been a volunteer coach. You've coached wrestling, and then soccer, baseball. You've also participated. What do you see as a citizen as the importance, do you believe, of a community member? How does recreation enhance community? And as a realtor, how does that enhance people wanting to move here?
So as a realtor, it's simple. Cañon City has so much to offer. You can't run out of things to do if you're a things to do type of person. And if you feel like being left alone, it's a very quiet community. You don't have any problems. So as a realtor, I mean, this is a part of how I make connections with people. I think that's fantastic. It's part of how I give back to the community. You know, not every business owner chooses to give back, but I like to be involved with my community. I like to give back. I have a lot of outreaches. I don't want to go into all those things, but I do many community outreach services, and I think it's just a way that I feel like I'm contributing. And the cool thing I really like about the direction we head is there's an opportunity for anybody to contribute if they choose to. You know, as far as like how when Keller Williams did we helped with the moving river rock and this and that. And so just the ease of how easily you can integrate in our community, I would say it's one of the things that makes our community great.
Yeah, I will say this. I'll give you an example of how this community is great. So on Tuesday, we had a big cottonwood. It's actually literally 100 feet from where we're standing right now that went across Ash Street. We had Preston come out, and he immediately broke out the chainsaw without even being asked by us. He showed up, goes, no, this has to get done. He went in and went to town to try to get the road cleared. Rec District was out here. Fremont County Road and Bridge came out to help out. You had Sheriff's Department out here. So all these different groups came out to try to make sure that we had Ash Street cleared. And I don't think you would get that in a larger community. But in a small community, everybody stops, pitches in, and helps out when needed. And I think that is what makes our community great. And that's why I go, it's very easy for us to want to find ways to enhance the quality of life in our community when things like that happen.
I totally agree. Hey, I really appreciate your time. Let's go knuckle bumps on that one.
Thanks.
Fremont County Real Estate Rules.
Chris Montoya.